Hey, we're the monkeys. Welcome to Supercoach 360, everybody. We're back for another week. Installment with the boy, Juzzy J. How you going, bud?
How we doing?
Good, mate. Louis, what's cracking, mate?
Yeah, not too much.
Good, mate. Bergs, how you going, buddy?
You know me, mate. I am always good.
That's good. How did we all go this week, boys? Good week or not?
Oh, average. Lost out in the Podmasters, only just. Forgot to loop Nath. Bit me in the ass. Played, like 3 or 4 backs for 50 points. It was horrid.
Yeah. Standard.
I got 12.50. So
You found him, did you, after all these years?
yes, still owes me. But no, I felt I got a par score for the week.
Yeah.
And, moved up a couple, so that's
Lovely. That's
different.
all you can ask for.
Yeah, not great amounts, but I went up a couple,
It's
which
up.
is better than the rest.
Yeah,
so
that's right, mate.
I'm happy with that. But yeah, all in all, I think Nath saved me.
Yep.
Without the right captain choice, I could have much easily been at least 150
It's
points
definitely a big
down.
part of the weekend, isn't it?
It's massive.
Yeah.
So I've seen some people that decided to pot on and go turbos and stuff like that, and I just thought, fuck, like the swing
Reece
there.
Walsh.
Reece Walsh. There's a few swings you could just notice by the
I
end
talked
of the
David
round.
into looping Trell and not captain to Nath.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah?
David.
Oh, yeah, we would have got Alamotti's 11 or something if he has him, but
Yeah.
yeah. But in
Yeah,
saying that,
he sold Hammer and kept Alamotti too.
well, it's a smart.
Bad
Yeah,
week.
it was a smart choice to loop Trell though. At that point, we've scored
Yeah.
148. Like
Yeah.
chancing your arm after that, I think it has happened before. I remember a couple of years ago, Nath went big and a few balls up and stuck with Turbo.
Yeah.
Turbo went 200 and
Yeah.
sailed home. Like really good.
Yeah.
I was on that, but yeah, like there's just them moments, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Louis, how'd you go, mate?
Not the best. Only scored an 11.34, which is probably subpar for this round.
Nope.
Same as you. I captained Walshy, Reece Walsh. But yeah, it wasn't the best overall. Traded out the Hammer for Marzu. Although Marzu still scored 92. Hammer went on to score a lot more. How about you, Con? How'd you go?
I was horrible this week, mate. I'd rather not talk about it. Can we move on, please?
What'd you get?
960 or something. Yeah,
Ouch.
that's it.
Ouch.
Massive. Yuckies. So yeah, I'd rather just move on. I've already cried about it enough this week. Thanks, Louis.
Yeah, fair enough. Must have been tough watching this round.
What did I get? 1150 ish. Oh, really? 1172. 1172 for me. Saw me go down a little bit, but yeah, made a few mistakes, and my backs are all had an off week at the same week, which sucked. But it is what it is. Still confident in the team. Still confident in the plan. Sticking to the plan and just seeing what happens. So that's my goal. Yeah, I'm definitely prepared about what we're doing this week.
Righto, I'll have a crack then. Just while I'm still mid shares, so I'm mid shares at the moment. Priority trades, fellas. I feel we're at a point now where prioritising certain areas are going to be key for your run home, like your halves especially is a major talking point, and your fullbacks. With Tommy being a bit injured, it's a thing that I'm worried about. Do I play an injured Tommy? Do I hunt around and try and get some Reece Walsh money? Like, what do I do? So yeah, I think every one of us will probably have a different area we need to strengthen as well.
I wouldn't say it's an injured Tommy. He had back spasms for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, take away those back spasms out of that game, he's not scoring 120.
Oh, let's
Like,
face
Penrith
it.
absolutely smacked him off the field.
He played Penrith, and Penrith have found some form. Like,
Yeah,
last couple of
100%
weeks, they've played themselves into some
Well, even
form.
if Turbo had no back spasms or anything, he wasn't scoring any more than a 50.
No, I don't think either.
And we know this Penrith team is a team that suffocates the points out of a squad. You know, whenever anyone comes up against Penrith, you don't really expect them to score anywhere what they usually would.
No, it's like a Melbourne. Like, Melbourne of old anyway. Now it's a bit different this year especially, but a couple of years ago you knew if you went in against a Melbourne side you weren't coming out tons up everywhere, you know. Very few players turn up against Melbourne of old. So, yeah, it's a few things to look out for there. Like, if you are up against Penrith in the next couple of weeks, like, are they the sort of players you might be thinking about moving on before they get to Penrith and lose some cash, you know?
Well, no, I can imagine a lot of people will be jumping on Cam Murray or Cody Walker or Latrell Mitchell from South. But if you look at their draw, they've got Storm and Penrith both coming up in the next couple of weeks again. And I think they got the Broncos in there as well. So, you know, maybe over those weeks, they might not quite hit that 150, that level that they hit.
Yeah, then tougher games they do, they just suffocate you for points. Well, that's what the good teams are about. They find a way to take the good players out of the game. Like, who was it years ago, Con, that kicked Billy Slater out of the game where we got the 7 tackle set from? There's a team that used to just constantly do it.
Yeah.
They just kicked the ball dead and it took Billy out of the game.
I don't want to say A-Ray. I'm thinking A-Ray.
Yeah, but yeah, there was a certain time there where people just used to kick the ball dead to take Billy Slater out of the game, and that's where we got our 7 tackle resets from. They thought, well, we'll change that. It's such a shit tactic, you know. So yeah, so yeah, boys. Juzzy, you deep in the... Where are you? Are you on your team there, bud?
Man, I got the Supercoach blues, if I'm being honest. It's... What are we, 6 rounds in? And I just feel like I'm at a bit of a stalemate with my team. I've used 4 boosts.
Is that including this week? Or
No,
you've already boosted 4 times?
I've already boosted 4 times. I'm laying off the boost this week. Last boost got Pappy's name on it, but I ended up boosting in Cody Walker last week.
Wasn't a bad idea.
No, that's it. It paid off with the cash I generated. I'm doing the same thing again this week, moving to Payne Haas from Christian Welch. So getting rid of Liero and Welch, so I don't have the, buy dilemma in a couple of weeks, or as bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, Payne Haas, Ray Stone. So I've just got my half set now. I've got 4 gun halves. I've got to figure out my fullback spot. I mean, Meany's off resting this week, so I've got Taruva and Tom Travojevic playing in my fullback, which is scary.
Why?
Well, because Turbo scored a 26 last week, and I know they were playing Penrith, but also just...
They're at home this week.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping for a bounce back, but up against the Storm, who are starting to...
Yeah, I know. Tommy at Brookvale's spiritual home, Manly, you know.
Yeah, look, I've got faith. I know he scored some big scores there. So, and then Taruva up against the Knights. I could put in him, or I could put in Perham, but yeah, after Perham's 20 last week, I'm just not entirely sure. But aside from that, I've just got to sit on now on a few players and just let them juice up for another couple of weeks. And this buy thing's really running with me, because you bring in someone 2-3 weeks later, they got to buy. And it's just like, oh, you really need that depth this year. Like, is that what you're noticing?
Absolutely.
It's killing me.
It's the stunting prices, and we've been getting a few injuries. Like, I've been pretty lucky, I'll be honest, with injuries, but there's been quite a few injuries to open the year.
Yeah, see, I chased my tail, man, with KP, with Dewey, with Burton. Like, I've spent 6 trades in my 5/8 in the first 6 weeks, bro. Something like that. Like, it's a ridiculous amount when you actually look at it.
So I started Dewey, went Dewey to Munster, and haven't looked back.
Yeah, no, well, that's it. I went that way, but then I had a lot of cash invested in Burton because I didn't take the risk on Katoa and save that cash.
See,
and that bit me in the ass. I was hoping Dewey was going to be better, but what do you expect? Sorry, Tigers fans. Fuck, man.
Dewey's gone now too. Like,
can we just have a look at and just have a quick chat about the absolute piss take it is that the first 2 points the Tigers scored this year is the result of a bye? I really don't like the 2 points for a bye.
Have they beaten it yet?
But no, well, that's it.
They'll be lucky to get it.
Like, how crazy is that, man? That these guys haven't... like you get a default 2 points for the bye, and that's the only 2 points these people have on the board.
Sorry, but it's their own fault, mate.
I'm not doubting that.
There were games there where I'm not saying they were.
They could have won last week against Para.
They could
They
have,
almost did.
but there was big points in games that could have been momentum changes for them, and their team just wasn't with the rest of the team. Like, it was one or two blokes going on a whim, and the team wasn't there. And if the team was there, the momentum changes, and I'm not going to say they're going to win games, but they're definitely way more in it, especially if the team's constantly up in the line, pushing with the players and running them holes. And they did get a bit of that against Para last week, but that was the first time I've seen it all year from them. Like, they've given nothing. Like, John Bateman does a good job, Arpy does a good job, IPAP I feel does a good job, but everyone's hammering him because he's not pumping out 80s. But he doesn't have Mitch Moses either, and he doesn't have the rest of the Parasite who was going forward and doing a job that the Tigers don't do.
And I think that's the issue right there that you said. You're naming one or two players that really, or three players there where you can rely on them to go out and put a performance. But really, if you look at it, besides those three players, there's nothing really else that's coming through. That's, no one else is stepping up in a game
that's
trying
the
to
thing.
win.
Like,
win
when
the
you look
game.
at that, yeah, they've got a little bit of raw talent in there, but they've actually got a pretty good team on paper.
I tell you what, that winger kid on the weekend had a rocker of a game, bro. That
The
Tupou.
Tupou? Yeah.
Wow, bro. And then did you see at the end, Clint Guthman tried to give him the game ball, telling him, "Oh, you had a mad game." He's saying, "Fuck off, get away from me, shit." Like, go away, mate. I don't give a fuck about the ball. Like,
Good attitude. I love
it
it.
was good. Love it. Well, they just got beat. Like, that was a game that I think they felt they were going to win at one point as a team on the field. Anyway, the momentum had changed.
Yeah.
They were starting to drag it in, but.
And may I just make a quick comment? If I was a Para,
Sorry, Lou. No,
if I was a Para fan, I wouldn't be happy about that. About that performance. Realistically, they just won against a team that is, just completely useless.
Way
really.
off the mark.
They just won. Like, there was a moment there before Charlie Staines dropped that ball where you thought, mate, they've got momentum. They're going to score. They're going to win here. They might actually get the win.
I did think that that they were coming home with a wet sail. I was on the Tigers to get up there. I was like secretly going, "Come on, get there."
Yeah, but that's it. You wanted the upset.
Everyone tipped the Eels, but everyone wanted Tigers to get that win.
Yeah. Just, you know what? Just because we've all got that one mate that goes for the Tigers, fucking crushing for them. Like, I hope they get one this year. For the sake of the supporters, give them something.
But if you honestly take a look at their lineup and the way, their draw and the way they're playing at the moment, I actually think they've got a real solid lineup. But something is just not right down there because it's just not working for me.
Their new squad, they had half of their team didn't get a pre-season with them. Like, Bateman wasn't here, and the rest of them, IPAP was overseas playing internationals. Dewey was
I hope they
overseas playing internationals. Brooks was at home.
And Xbox.
He was playing internationals on PS5. But yeah, so fellas, has your plan changed? Has your plan changed from the start of the year, like with the emergence of some new talent and just some of the old dogs not doing what we thought they were going to do? Like, some of the talent that was coming through from last year hasn't backed it up this year, like your Reece Robsons. He's been okay, but hasn't been Harry-like, and your Tarpanies haven't been Haas-like, and there's been others along the way. Olakuatu's been chugging along very shit.
Not shit, but not to the expectations that were expected.
There's a few doing that. Down in the centre wing, I think not many people were too happy with Val, but Val, we all knew Drinky come back would be difference for Val, but Val was highly.
I got 92 the week before Drinky come back too.
Yeah.
So, you knew Val was going to be Val.
But I think he was highly traded out.
Like, he was still averaging
price rise.
low 60s.
With nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been a few along the way. Like, has your plan changed? Like, like Hopgood, I think at the start of the year, the first 2 rounds, Hopgood was there to stay for 20 rounds.
Keeper.
He was.
3 weeks later, Hopgood's on the bench and he's gone. Like, for me, he was gone last week. I'm cheering. I pulled the trigger last week. I had a feeling it was all changing. So, hopefully he goes down.
Maddo's looking good, but
Who?
Maddo.
Maddo does look good, doesn't he? And not just because he's a monster. Like, he's looking fresh out there. Looks like he could probably cop a head
Looks
knock
like
even.
he'd like to pay back $4,000 maybe
Well,
worth of.
Well, that's them 3 losses are on him. That's the way he's got to look at it. For the sake of $3,000, he cost the
He
club.
definitely didn't help the cause.
Well, at least
$4,000. Come on, mate. Let's not sell him short. He's not a
Sorry.
tight ass.
I thought the manager.
It was 3 weeks for $4,000.
Thought player management got something. That's all. But yeah. So has your plan changed? Your plan changed, Louis, at all? Like, is there dudes that you're now looking at that you weren't thinking about at the start of the year, or players that were on your radar but you're a bit worried who have turned into pretty good looking prospects?
For starters, Lockie Miller.
Yeah.
I mean, in centre wing you can name Lockie Miller, the Hammer, Asako. At the start of the season, you would never have thought these players would have get to the level that they are now. Like, you might have thought, oh, they might make a couple of $100K in cash, but like Asako's at, I think, 650 now, or
Yeah,
something
he's
like
at
that.
ridiculous
Like,
money.
Did not expect it out of him. I'll give you that.
Even.
He's up there.
he's close to it, yeah.
He's way up there. Negative break even too, I think.
Yeah, I think he's negative 22 or something like that.
Jesus,
But,
he can still jump on.
And Hammer.
But it's, players like that where you think, at the start of the season, I don't think anyone had their plans as, they're going to earn me a lot of cash. You know, you might, again, quick 100K here and there, but there's quite a few now.
I didn't even start with the Hammer. Didn't start with Chansey. I didn't start, and these are people that I had been burnt by in the past. And Chansey, for me, I always thought he was always a look-in. I always wanted to watch what Chansey was doing, and with that head knock, has kept his low price. So it's time to jump on now or sort of lose it. But these are blokes that I probably should have started with. Like, they're going to new squads. We all know Wayne Bennett. He's a tactician. He's been in the sport for 30, 40 years or something. He weren't going to come in with a shit plan. And watching the Hammer over these first 6 rounds, he's come a long way from his time at the Cowboys last year. Chansey at fullback over there at the Warriors.
I wouldn't even say Hammer's come a long way from his time at the Cowboys. I think the way the Dolphins are playing football and the way Hammer plays as more a support player than that sweeping around the back, ball playing fullback, the way they play through the middle off back Jeremy Marshall King and the forwards causing momentum, I think that's brought him on more than what sweeping out the back plays like they designed for Drinkwater at the Cowboys would do.
Well, we noticed it at the Cowboys. They couldn't score. Well, the Dogs beat them round 1 last year. Got thumped, I think. Not thumped.
12-6.
You got beat by the Dogs, who were shit for the rest of the year, just about. To when, I think, round 3, Fidzy got hurt.
I think he had 4 weeks there, and then Drinkwater stepped in, and
then bang, they moved into the top 4 within a few weeks of that, and just piling on points. So
10 minutes from a grand final.
yeah, so it's I like seeing what the Hammer's doing there too. I'm glad I did jump on before the price changed too much, because now he's at a point now you probably don't want to jump on. It's a bit of a waste of a trade jumping on now, unless you see him as a season-long keeper. Like, I wouldn't recommend you to get him unless you see him as a season-long keeper. Anyone else like for yous? Like, who you sort of missed the boat on, but you...
Yeah, probably the Hammer. I went Hayes Perham over the Hammer, and he chugged along all right. The Hammer's more of a roller coaster, but he's obviously got the high ceiling. So a bit spewing about that. Probably not going Cardi, definitely. That one bit me.
Cardi was a massive fail on all our barbs, I think.
And like Con said earlier, not going with my gut. I went against my plan of trading out keepers that were going to lose cash. Held on to Teddy for that extra week. got rid of KP instead when I could have held him because he wasn't playing. And I could have just done a straight downgrade to Reece Walsh on that first week and copped his first score. So that's probably what's hurt me the most so far this year. I'm now looking. Who do you guys want at hooker? Who's your second
Harry.
hooker? Your second one. Like we all want the Wizard, but is it JMK? Is he the second form hooker of the comp now?
I got my eyes on Jerry Marshall King. I've got him in some drafts. He does well. You know, he's pretty good.
he looks solid, and aside from the time off he's had, he's done all right, hasn't he?
He's only scored one, I think, just under 50. The others were.
I think he's the second highest averaging hooker.
So yeah, I'm sort of feel like I'm missing the boat on him as we speak. I had the same feeling about Cody last week, but I went with Cody. But yeah, I've been saying the Cody one for a couple of weeks. I think we were sleeping on him.
Yeah.
He's starting to chug along quite nice. Same thing. I know he's a roller coaster. He's got his ups and downs, but
Well, he made you 90 grand just last week, just for jumping on Juzzy.
yeah,
You
Cheer.
know, so,
And 134 points.
yeah. So
which I took every single one of them. That saved me last week, to be honest.
yeah. Louis, anyone like that for you, mate? That you feel that you might have him now, but you missed out at the start, or you're still missing now that you would like to get, but maybe he's a bit out of reach or something, or
Payne Haas.
yeah.
Payne Haas. I wish I didn't hold back and just went probably straight Tarpany to Haas.
Yeah,
And then, I can sort out getting Tarpany in by shifting other players around. But, yeah, I think Payne Haas is one I missed out on. I know Jeremy Marshall King, I'm getting him in this week.
Yeah.
nice.
In replace of Reece Robson. But, yeah, Payne Haas for me is probably my biggest one.
Bud, what about you? Got a few, or
What are you trying to say, mate?
no? I'm just asking.
Yeah,
like, you got a couple there, or you got one or two, or
probably Lockie Miller.
yeah.
Only more pre-season, fucking loving him bits, and then for some reason a week and a half out from the season, I talked myself out of him.
Which a lot of
And
the
I still
chatter.
don't even know how I ended up talking myself out of him.
I think it's
So, yeah,
just
that's
the
what I'm
chatter.
kicking myself.
The chatter around too, like the in the pre-season this year, he was unseen. Like he played 7 games for the Sharks, who
And he more than impressed me enough. That's why I was on him all pre-season. He'd done more than enough in his time at fullback. He showed me he was busy enough. He
The
had
other-
work ethic. He had tackle break ability. He had a bit of skill. He had speed.
he was like
which
a
is
3-week.
all Supercoach friendly.
He was like a 3-week before kickoff, end of mid-season transfer sort of thing. Like he wasn't there for a pre-season or anything. It was a gamble trade. Like really, if you look
No.
at it,
I don't agree.
well, he hadn't been there for
Hindsight
the
says
pre.
it wasn't either.
Yeah, I know hindsight says it wasn't either, but if you're planning at the start of the year and there's a bloke that's going to a team that he hasn't spent any time with and he's about to play in a key position, it's a red flag. And,
But-
and
but-
I understand why people didn't
again,
go there.
He's not that. He's a Hammer type fullback. He's not that Drinkwater fullback who needs to be in those sweeping plays designed to needs to be where he needs to be at certain points. He's more that support runner. When something happens, he reacts to it. He's there, or he creates something himself. Yes, he can also play that sweep option, but that's not his strength.
Oh,
So
no, he's-
therefore, I feel he didn't need as much pre-season training to get into the role that he was designed to play. KP was designed, I feel, to play that option on both sides, with Jackson Hastings being that main man.
well, he's a massive regret on my behalf as well. Like, fuck, he's even after his back-to-back 50s, if you actually watched the Knights games, he got 50s out of nothing. Like, he had
Just
no
work.
attacking stats.
Well, he has 20 to 25 runs a game, man.
Yeah, so the
And
points
he's a nuggety little dude. He breaks tackles.
the points are always going to come. I think the price tag sort of scared me off a little bit too at 600,000 when we had so many cheapies down there with
Well,
you.
and you also had Val like 680 or something like that. So it was. Can you find that extra bit of cash to get Val, who's a guaranteed locked-in gun goal kicking? Lockie's kicked a few goals lately, but he was never a locked-in goal kicker with KP and Hastings.
Yeah, nah, he's one that got away. I did start paying us though. Like that was one of them things, Louis. Just going back to that, I really had a long hard think about that because I had I think Tino there for ages. I had Tino
Yeah, you're
there
thinking
for
about it
ages.
hard.
Everyone was going Tarpany, and I thought, oh no, Tino's the guy. He was lowly owned, and I thought, you know what? Payne Haas was playing with 2 busted shoulders last year, needled up every game, still picking off 50s or whatever. You know, and I was so glad I went down because the thing was I saved 80 grand by going down to Payne Haas there while everyone else was thinking Tarps or Tino. It was Payne Haas was the man we've spoke about every year since we've podcasted. You know, Payne Haas, and this year he barely got a mention. It's unreal.
Because he had 2 busted shoulders last year.
And his mum went through that shit too at the start of the year. Everyone was expecting.
Well, that's the reason why I didn't jump on. Like this, I have to admit, this is the first season where I haven't started with Payne Haas in my squad.
Regrets, eh?
Regrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard.
I mean, what's even worse is that my name is in for Supercoach is Pain in the Haas,
Yeah,
and I didn't even include him in my starting squad, and I regret it.
And it's
He's a pain in my
massive
Haas.
pain in your ass.
He's a massive pain in my Haas.
I called my team do it for a Tanner. He was in my side for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Bam,
Yeah.
gone.
Go on. Yeah, you can always bring him back.
As soon as I saw what Foz did, I was just like, Foz is the dominant half there. He's
think you
going to
get-
get all the
I
points.
think you get a chance of changing your name halfway through the year once, don't you?
I don't know. I think you might just be able to go into your settings and do it. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
But yeah, not getting Payne Haas, not starting with Payne Haas, definitely one of my biggest regrets.
Yep. So we got a Braddo chat there, yeah? We got anything
Yeah.
on the live, lads?
We got a
Alright.
few. We got quite a few actually.
Oh, yeah. Say good day to everyone, Louis.
Who have we got? We have. That's not showing all the comments.
Liveys.
Oh, mate, we are on. Keep talking, Bergs. Dead air kills.
We have Trey Wheelhouse. How are you, Trey?
Shit.
Trisquin Henderson. Taruva going to carve up against the Knights.
I hope so. I got him.
Dad. Hi, Dad. Hey, boys, do you think the Tigers will get up against the bye? No.
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 I mean-
they've got a strong chance of dropping that one.
Oh, look, that's what I mean, man. It's a disgrace they pick up the 2 points by default. Really, I feel like if you haven't won a game, you shouldn't get the 2 points. I understand the system they've got in place, but it's why I don't understand why there's a system for points for the buys. I think either way you look at it, you're going to look at a flawed ladder all year. This just stops there being any 0 pointers on the bottom of the ladder. But if you're shit enough to be a 0 pointer, you deserve to have that displayed on the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah, well, Shane Foot saying bring back even teams. No
buys.
more of these buys.
All right,
I
so
agree.
let's quickly. Who's your expansion club, boys? There's been lots of talk about this in the last couple of weeks. That's what gets rid of the next buy. It will be done by the next broadcast deal. It's happening. Who, where, why?
Nostalgia for the Bears.
Yeah.
If in saying that, a lot of people that I know
Bears are a
there's-
relocation straight up.
Yeah, Bears will have to go Perth or something to
Perth?
the west.
Well,
but,
Perth or Pacifica? Because there's talk about basing them out of Cairns and calling them Pacifica.
well, then it wouldn't be the Bears then. That'd be some sort of
Yeah, see, I think Pacifica deserves its own identity. I don't think.
yeah. No, I think the Bears. If you want to go, if the NRL wants to go down the nostalgic route, bring back the Bears. If you want to modernise and go looking towards, I'm not saying the Bears aren't a future club or anything like that because they could be, but if you're going to go Pacifica, I think you really need to give them their own label. You know, their own brand, their own thing to live off. If it's going to be based in Cairns and what is it going to be, a PNG/Island team? Also, then I think there's going to have to be some. I think they should be looking now so they can start signing some marquee Islander boys. If you catch me drift, where it's like what Dwayne said, they got given no time with the Dolphins. So if they want to bring a Pacifica team in, I think they should be able to start poaching.
Not yet.
We're going, Brad, on a second, poaching some players for that now. Con, just quickly, expansion, you will bring back the Bears or you go Pacifica team, its own brand?
Definitely no Pacifica team. I'd probably go Central Coast or another Brisbane team, to be
Now.
perfectly frank.
Yep, good. Now, so the other option, which is being highly sort of like floated out there, is Ipswich, Toowoomba in Western Brisbane, because it's a very fast-growing corridor. AFL's trying to pick it up, so they want to give him something to really fight for out there.
Well, Toowoomba used to have the biggest rep team in Queensland, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, Toowoomba Clydesdales were massive. They were a feeder team to Brisbane for years and years and years.
So there you go. Like, it's a big rugby league area. Yeah, it is a big rugby league area. Now, also, let me pose this to you. You bring him into the comp in, say, 3 years, but you let Bellyache and Cameron Smith run it.
Oh, it just depends if they do it or not as well.
Like, Bellyache is head of football.
You can't. Bellyache signed with the Storm for the next 4 years after this one.
Oh, has he?
And there is no way they're going to let him go. And the money they're going to pay him to just stay on for 2 days a week or whatever to Zoom call and fucking be the head of coaching or whatever he is, he's not going to pass that up to
I didn't realise
go on
that.
as full-time coach.
Yeah, I forgot that he'd
And
signed.
I haven't heard anything about Cameron Smith having any aspirations to be a coach, to be perfectly frank. I think he's happy in his media roles doing what he does with no stress at all and just cruising through.
Origin's his thing, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, so, but Central Coast, John Singleton's always said he's got 50 million there that he's willing to throw behind Central Coast Bears. They've got a stadium there ready made to go. They've got countless fans in between Newcastle and Sydney that are just begging for a team. So, either Brisbane or Central Coast to me.
Oh, yeah, fair call. Look, I think Central Coast, if it gets a look in, it doesn't get a look in till after there's another Brisbane team. Sydney's got a population of like roughly 6 million. Brisbane's got a population of roughly 4 million. Right? 3.5, 4. So if you're looking at sort of, we got 9 teams in this area. They've got 3.
But we claim to be the ARL and we don't move off the eastern coast.
But, well, that's the other thing. I'm all for a WA team. I think it's Brisbane team, Perth team, possibly another Queensland team or a Pacifica team. I'm all for a Far North Queensland team or even a Rockhampton Gladstone team from Queensland. Like, it's definitely a rugby league heartland. You've really got to, you've really got to promote that and encourage that. The Pacifica team, I'm curious to pick your brain about this, Con. You've very quickly shot that down.
Yep.
Why is that?
There's no junior pathways. There's no infrastructure over there. You can't justify sending a team across over there every week to play in front of 5,000 fans.
No, they wouldn't. They'd be based out of Cairns. They'd play their home games in Cairns. They might play 1 or 2 marquee games in the other nations throughout the tournament.
The Pacifica team's probably going to be the Warriors pretty much during COVID. You're going to have to spend 6 months of their lives packed up over here while their families are at home. For me, it just doesn't make sense at the moment. If you had infrastructure built up over there, pathways built up over there where they can all come through, and you had stadiums there that can fill the requirements to actually generate a little bit of profit off it.
Well, you got to remember, though, it's also a TV game.
But then you have blocks. So they spend a month over there, where teams travel over there for a month, where they stay at home for a month, and then they travel for a month. So it's not every week they're flying across the Pacific, or teams flying across the Pacific.
Yeah, but one makes it a bit more fair for everyone, but then it means you pretty much get most clubs going out there once a year, which would be great for building the game up over in those areas. If you've got NRL stars coming over.
But you also have to have infrastructure in place.
Yeah, definitely.
To hold these games. You can't take a game over there where a stadium holds 3,500 people.
No. You got
at the end of the day, dollars speak
to
the NRL. So if the dollars aren't over there, there's no way they're going to invest in it.
Yeah, fair call. I mean,
if they did invest in it properly to begin with the fucking billions of dollars they get from TV deals and shit, and actually set in pathways and grassroots and all the infrastructure needed to create.
It's the Australian Rugby League. It's not the Samoan Rugby League or the Tongan Rugby League or the Pacifica Rugby League.
While we have that mindset, we're always just going to be the Australian Rugby League. because these Pacific countries are never going to get this shit set by themselves. They're not going to have the money generated ever to set this in stone. So unless we
Australia has.
step up and fucking foot the bill, the international game's not going anywhere. And if the international game doesn't grow as a whole, then what we are selling as a product now is stale. It's never going to get any better. So the profits we're getting now from TV deals, this is what we're going to get. If we want more money from TV deals to make the game better, to get better players, then we need to grow the international game to make more appealing to other audiences apart from just us.
Yeah, fair call. Fair call.
I think you'll find a few years ago, and correct me if I'm wrong, especially yous out there on Facebook, because yous know, but a few years ago, I think, like Tonga, we all know the minnows were pretty shit. Like they put up a little bit of a fight, but they always got pummeled. Now a few years ago, Tom Malolo and Andrew Fafita pumped a heap of money. Didn't they pump? I thought they pumped some money. I thought they pumped some match payments or something. Did he? Well, yeah. So I just remember that there was some sort of money pumped from somewhere. But since that happened, like, people want to play for Tonga, you know. But in saying that, Tonga's team comes from Australia. You know what I mean? Like, they're basically Aussies.
At the end of the day, in my opinion, there should be no match payments for international football. The match payments for playing international football is wearing that jersey and playing international football.
Yeah, well, it's the pinnacle. It's the pride of the league, isn't it? Like, that's what you want to do when you're
a bit of money
kid.
to cover your expenses while you're away, so you can party with the boys, never went astray.
But if you're an international player, you're getting paid pretty decent from your club.
Yeah, I know, but
you've probably played
Origin.
Origin.
About all that money, you've earned this money.
And you've probably played Origin for a year, so you've got money.
Yeah, but that's it. That's your play money. Look, I don't begrudge the match payments to them, but I mean, look, the same things happen with Samoa, but you're right, it's pretty much an Aussie team. I mean, you look at all the superstars on most of the international teams, and yeah, they're pretty much Aussies.
I'm not saying they're
even in the Super Leagues.
They're not
half
Aussie.
Their good players are fucking.
They're not Aussie
ex-NRL.
teams. They're not Aussie teams, but they're definitely products of the Australian game. Like they've.
Oh, that's
they've
what I meant.
grown
Like
up
the people.
here.
Well, they're NRL players. They play in the Australian League.
Well, some of them don't get here till their teens.
Yeah, and some of them are born here.
Some of them born here, but the ones that get here, like, look at Ronaldo, right?
Mulatalo.
I fully got stuck on that one. But
happens a bit.
But you know what I mean? He'd come from New Zealand or something at 13 or 14, and he was literally in Origin camp until the indiscretions. Yeah, he's literally until the indiscretions come out. So there's still that. There was indiscretions. You tried to sneak out another one. I got caught again. But yeah, that's like, there's so much talent coming in from these places and that as well. Like, it's getting to the point where they probably could sport one, but it'd have to be grown from Australian talent.
Well, you got to look at the All Blacks, the Rugby Sevens, all that kind of shit. Like the Samoans, the Fijians, the New Zealanders, they dominate that. So the talent is out there. We've seen them go.
All right, boys. Facebook's telling us to move on. Gregory's had his opinion. It's been good.
Going to Braddo.
Braddo.
Hey, welcome, Braddo, to the show, mate. How you going?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Con. How are you going?
I'm fantastic, buddy. It's a pleasure to have you back on the show. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. I've just been struggling through Supercoach like all of us, trying to get my shit together, trying to get the team into a good position. But yeah, it's been a struggle at times. It's been one of those seasons, hasn't it?
It's been a real roller coaster this season. Well, for me personally, so far. I'm glad it has been for other people as well. It does make me feel as terrible.
Oh yeah, no, she's been a very up and down sort of a year so far. There's a lot of volatility in a lot of the scores. A lot of the scores from players have been, quite high one week, quite low. You just look at Latrell. It's a real. You just got to get on the train and have faith in your player. Try not to rage trade too much and just ride it out. I guess it's
Yeah, that's it. I think it's more of a back who you think's going to be a top fiver by the end of the year and try and stick solid by him.
Yeah.
Ride the highs and the lows, as most of them are going through, except for the forwards. They seem to be the solid rocks again, as future past, and Nico and Nathan, obviously.
Munster.
Mm.
No,
Braddo?
yeah, no, absolutely. The forwards are looking like they're. I mean, this is a funny one, and you're probably going to think it's a bit weird, but I think it's the top 15 second row forwards are actually averaging better than every 5'8" except for Munster.
Really?
So, are you better off putting your money into a second row and just having a shit like 5'8"? It leads to an interesting discussion, doesn't it? Yeah, they're all averaging 60 and above, which I think Dylan Brown's the next best. He's bang on 60.
I think Walker, after his $1.30 or something, would be increased, wouldn't he, or not?
Oh, I don't know about his season average. I think he's still a bit underneath Dylan Brown, but because he had some pretty crappies, remember?
Yeah, he
that's
started
that
real
volatility
slow.
that's that volatility we're sort of spoken about. But yeah, there's certainly a bunch of forwards there that are doing quite, putting up some nice averages above 60 pretty consistently, which is nice.
Well, you've been pretty busy, Braddo, doing your own stuff and the write-ups and that, and like,
Give it a shout out.
oh, yeah, Off the Bench podcast, and yeah, just your write-ups. Your write-ups this year all been pretty on point. Like, I know you were semi-half taking the piss with SJ at the start of the year, but fuck, mate, if you jumped on, you were cheering, you know. There's been a couple over the last couple of weeks that have been really good as well that I haven't written them down, but
Bergstone's research as always.
But no, it's been real. Like, the write-ups have been good. Like, everything Brad has put out the last couple of years has been pretty on point. If we go back and have a look, like, remember when we were doing website stuff and that as well? Like, everything was good. So, who are you? Hey, what's your thoughts on Ray Stone, Braddo? Just quickly while I got you there.
Oh, my thoughts on Ray Stone. I brought him in. There's me thought. I did put him down as a bit of an ultra pod this week. Look, I really did want the cash, and I did want to downgrade out of Hop God. I wanted his cash. Stone, I think, I mean, they're all a bit of a punt. I mean, there's 3 cheapies this week. Couchman in the second row, Couchman, Host, and Stone. All of them have got a bit of a plus side. Host, is he really going to maintain once everybody's back? Is he going to still keep up the minutes and keep a starting role there? That's a big question, you know. And then Couchman, well, he is increasing. He's coming off the bench all the time. And then you got Stone at 280K, who Bennett, I think, is liking more and more. Every single week, I can see a pattern of about 5 extra minutes every single week. He's just slowly increasing in minutes. And this week he's now starting in the front row. So he smells like Cotter to me, exactly like Cotter.
Everyone get your Stone on, you reckon, Braddo?
Well, he's just, if you need the cash like I did to fix up a 5'8" predicament like I had, then, he seemed to be the clear option in the end for me. So that's why I went him. So, I jumped on the Stone wagon.
Well, I'm looking at going the Cheese to Stone so I can upgrade Alamotti to Charles Nickel-Clockstad. That's my play for the week. I wasn't going to trade, but I feel that with Ray Stone getting a start in front row, and it should be for a couple of weeks, I think. I just like him. He's a worker.
Oh, look, there's no doubt. I think his PPM at the moment is sailing at around about 0.9, which isn't huge, but it's fine if he gets some minutes. So if he gets 60 minutes or more, that'll do me. I'll be quite happy with that. He'll get some good cash.
Yeah.
He can jag try too, old Ray Stone.
Well, quite famously so, didn't he?
Yeah, golden point off the field goal.
And you'll think with O'Sullivan being out and Milford sort of being out that JMK will be looking to them forwards a bit more often. So and he's sort of a strike forward, like you said, he finds the line.
The Dolphins play through the middle too.
They do, man. And you know what? Like the Hammer, he bit me in the ass last week. The Hammer didn't play him, didn't sell him, but I'm cheering about that because a lot of people sold the Hammer. Brad, I was listening to your podcast today. What was the number on the sale of the
15.
Hammer?
15,000.
15K.
Well, it was over
15K.
15,000. Yeah.
I think a lot of people were tossing up Hammer or Alamotti. No, weighing up their options. They looked at a depleted Dolphin side. No Sean O'Sullivan, no Milford. And they thought, yeah, Hammer over Alamotti.
It's be Ewan.
Yep.
I do like while we got Brad, we'll talk about like how often does that happen at this time of year? Like you pick the wrong one and then you sort of get stuck with the guy. Like I know there's no crystal ball in the way of the ways to pick it, but fuck, how often does it happen? You know, like you
Too often to people like us, unfortunately.
You know, that's where a lot of luck comes into it. And I'm not bagging out some people you get on social media. You know, they get on there and go, oh, you know, and they start spruiking about how wonderful their brain is because they picked a certain player and, you know, oh, you should delete the app if you didn't pick this player and all this sort of bullshit. No, they should just give themselves an uppercut.
I bet you half of them were bagging Reece Walsh before the season too.
Oh, no doubt. But a lot of it is a bit of luck. There is some skill, but a lot of it in those sorts of, you know, it's only luck that Garrett got knocked out, you know, like, and he doesn't play this week, you know.
In a game like Supercoach, you can have 100 times more skill than the person next to you, but if luck's going against you, you're not going to beat them. It's as simple as that. And anything can happen on any given week in Supercoach. Like it's 80% luck, 20% skill.
Oh, I'll go a little bit more on the skill side, but there is certainly a high element of luck that can fall into play.
But you can have as much skill as you want, and you drop 10 players in 1 week, and you're fucked for the year. Doesn't matter how much planning you've done, or if you're sitting first after 12 weeks. If you just have a bad run of injuries, that can cruel your season. Doesn't matter how skillful you are, how planning you are, or if you don't get an injury throughout the whole year, or no suspensions or anything, and everyone just excels in your team and you don't really know what you're doing, you can win it.
No, 100%. Look, in 2021, if you didn't, I don't know if you remember back to then, we probably all had too many beers and everything else since then and now.
Yes.
But if we go back to then, if you didn't get on turbo early, you were just about cooked. So it was two competitions. There was a competition of those that got on a turbo early because his price skyrocketed so fast. And so there's a bunch of people out there that were caught without turbo. Were some of them you guys?
Yeah, 100%. Had to destroy my team to get him in because you just couldn't go on the season without having him.
No, I came home wet sail. I jumped straight on every time he came back just about. And it's done me justice a couple of times and it's cruelled me the others. But Nico was the one from last year. If you didn't get on and boost in that first 3 weeks, he was gone 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
He was unreachable for the rest of the year.
Never came back either. I had to get him late.
did it to us too.
Yeah, Pappy's done it. Like there's a few, and you'll find it's like the age-old question.
Even Garrick did it too, to an extent.
Well, you pointed something out to me the other year. Your forwards and that aren't going to get away from you as quick as them backs will. So you're best off sort of if you've got the money there and the back is doing okay, you might be best getting on the back because the forward isn't going to be $200,000 dear in 2 weeks.
That's it. The forward's
You
not
know,
going to back out back-to-back 120s or whatever.
Well, he's going to go up 40, 50K, which is manageable, whereas the 200K is not. You know, that's when you start gutting your team and you do stupid shit to your team to get these players in and then they go bust on you.
Well, even if they do go good, you've already destroyed the rest of your team, so it doesn't matter if he's killing it because everyone has got him, but you've destroyed your heart and soul.
Well, Brad, you're a planner, so you know you got to trust your processes on the way to get there sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, you do, and it's probably been a funny one this year. I have seen a lot of rage trading, which I think is in some cases unnecessary. And we're even seeing it a bit this week. You know, I've seen Turbo being one of the most sold players, you know, and I just sit there going...
Everyone thinks they're spoiled for trades. That's the problem.
Well, you're going to run out.
I understand.
But even though you got on, a lot of trades, it's still no reason to really trade out. Like say Garrick, he's going to be missing 1 week. Why would you trade him? He's got the Tigers coming up.
He's got an 8 in his rolling average. He's worth 700k, so he's going to not play this week, and he's probably going to drop 150k over the next 2 weeks.
But have you bought him to be a keeper and just get points? So the game is about.
I also
points.
brought him not expecting him to get knocked out with an 8 in his rolling average at 700k, miss a week with the new 11-day stand down, and probably drop 150k in the next 2 weeks. I was not anticipating that in my keeper strategy.
But you weren't ever really planning to sell him anyway. So why not just disregard?
He's gone.
But why not just disregard that price? Just disregard the money
because
you weren't going to sell him anyway.
Who I had to sell the other week because my phone broke to get Marzu, so I can get Val back in, who's on the way up, then get Gary back in probably 3 weeks or so at a very discounted price. And roll on.
150k is the same as earning 150k.
Well, plus I've got those centre wings who aren't quite juiced out yet, who I'm still waiting to juice out, like a Pereira and Warbrick. Yep. And then once they've juiced out, Gary should have bottomed out. And then,
can I throw a spanner in the work?
That's what I just did, didn't I?
I'm throwing another one in, right? Garrick has, granted he has an 8 in his rolling average. Has a buy or has a head knock thing this week, so he'll count it as sort of a personal buy. Next week plays the Tigers where he could get his 140. And you might not see any 150 price drop shit.
This rate could be stepping in a fullback too.
That's true. That's fair.
True.
I rolled that dice with Nath 2 weeks ago. And he came out and pumped 124 and got his break even, so that's fair, very fair call.
Like that's because that's exactly what's fresh in my mind. Like I was waiting for the NAIF decrease, like you were, and it never happened. And we're just sitting there going, "Well, fuck it," Like now I'm paying extra. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't much money. It wasn't much of an increase from NAIF, which was lucky, but we got lucky there that we didn't have to pay extra 60, 70k.
Yeah, like his break even was so high,
and Now he's 876,000. He's unreachable to some people.
You're not getting on this week.
No, that's the same as Nico. If you're not getting on this week, he's got a break even of 0 at $900,000.
Both Nath and Nico. This is the week. If you're not getting on, you're going to be selling your soul to get on.
But you're right about planning. And we'll go, instead of looking at what's happening this week, let's consider what's going to happen in 2 weeks' time. And I think some people and a lot of us aren't necessarily thinking like that. Now, in 2 weeks' time, the Storm have a bye. I'm playing 5 teams in my head-to-heads, in my 10 head-to-heads this week, that have Grant, Munster, Katoa, Warbrick, and Meaney. Just think about that. 2 weeks' time. What's...
I've already gone through it with the Roosters. I've got everyone on that list except for Katoa. So I'm hearing you. Don't really want to be playing Brandon Smith at hooker, I don't think. So, it's here. I've got a couple of things I've got to look at. Well,
that's only in 2 weeks' time. So, there's planning that any trades you're making now, you've really got to be thinking a couple of weeks how's that going to be affecting you, I think, I don't know. I'm a bit in two minds about Munster this week because of that. I go, shit, do I really? I know he's going to go gangbusters this weekend. I can feel 140. But are we just going to be trading him out in 2 weeks' time?
Yeah, I'm not trading Munster out. Like, that's it.
So you're going to sit there with 900k on your bench?
Yeah. If I have to for 1 week,
then
because I honestly believe the guys that I've got from that team are going to do the job. Don't get me wrong. Meaney may go in this few weeks leading up. Depends on what more Pappy news we start to hear. But as far as I'm concerned, Storm fullback's a Storm fullback, and he's doing a solid job.
Until Paps comes back to him.
Exactly right. Grant, same thing. I'm going to ride the wave through Origin as well. At least that's my plan.
Well, the thing
Munster as well.
The thing is, there's no one knocking the door down telling me to go I need to sell these people to get them to cover me.
Yeah, like this is where my season long keeper thing comes in. Like all I'm trying to do at the moment is generate cash. If they're going to leak cash, then yeah, I'll look into it. You know what I mean? Because I'm in like 10 to 12 weeks of cash generation, and I'm looking to build my dream team with any cash I get. I'm not banking much as it is. But that being said, yeah, I've got all those Storm players. I've got Cody Walker. I've got Cleary in the halves. I've got Turbo to cover me for that round for fullback if Turbo stays. I'm considering possibly a Trell, but I'm also thinking timing on that. I might hold off. I'm not sure. Because I've got Meany, et cetera, and I'm waiting on all my centre wings to juice. So I've done that. I've gone and built all my backs, and then my trade this week is getting me Payne Haas because I didn't start with him. And I'm just going to ride all these guys. I think you just got to ride or die, and then hopefully you got a bit of depth through your bench to get you through those tougher weeks. But you can field a team. It's hard, but you can do it. And everyone's going to have to cop scores like that. I don't think trades are for buys. You know what I mean?
But people will, and that's my point. People are going to be trading like crazy. You watch when that Melbourne buy comes around, there's going to be some wild old trades going on. Personally, I wouldn't trade Harry Grant over anything. You know, I'm a bit like you, Juzzy, but people are going to do it.
Definitely.
It'll happen.
Well, look at this week's trades. Look at some of the heavily traded out this week. You know what I mean? With Turbo being that dude in particular, and Garrick, 1 week dudes. Like, I know you've got a plan with Garrick, but for me, if I had Garrick, I doubt I sell him. You know, just because it's a 1 week thing. And like, I understand the Hopgoods and the Deweys and the Egans have got to go, but the Turbos and the Garricks and even Warbrick and Cam Pereira, I see Cam Pereira's still got to break even a 6. Granted, he got a shit score on the weekend, but we all know with 4 and back, they're a different side, and he gets space. And Warbrick's still a Melbourne winger. Like, no offense, Braddo, they're playing an under strength Manly wing this week. He could get some tries, Warbrick. You know.
No offense taken. We're buggered.
It's just like there's so many guys that are still, I feel, decent money makers that if you don't have to trade this week, you really don't have to. You could easily wait a week. I know the poor scores last week are helping people push the trigger and stuff, but you can still wait on a couple of these guys.
Yep. Look, Cam Murray a couple of weeks ago was another good example. You know, people, you know, he put in a 30 or something like that, and all of a sudden he became the most highly sold player. I would have thought that people bought him originally for a reason, and they should just stick with him and trust that reasoning. And since then, I think he's put together 2 80s, or fucking an 80 and a 90 or something.
And we lost Braddo because we're just tech savvy like that. Thanks, Pat Braddo. That was a good chat, mate. And yeah, always leaves you some things to think about, Brad, after you've had a chat with him. So, Ray Stone, for anyone out there who's having a think, I'm definitely doing a downgrade that way this week. Questions, Louis? You got some live ones there, and I've got some ones from the post. So we'll go tit for tat. You can start, mate.
Sounds good. James Mamatsi. Coochman a safe cheapie for the next month, fellas? Thoughts?
Definitely for 3 weeks he's going to get some time. With Molo going out for them 3 weeks. His minutes are slowly going up too, I think, if you look that deep. But yeah, he's not for me this week. He's not for me, but I can see a world where people are going him.
I'm with you, bud, not for me.
Yep.
Getting involved.
Nicholas Heffernan.
Nick.
Going a pod move this week. Jumping on Sivo. Also seriously considering captaining him. Against the Dogs at home, expect a couple of tries.
Bro, if I was you, especially if you got gold, I'm not sure if you can do it without gold, but you can go back and look at past seasons and past games. Sivo don't really score that well against the Dogs. I think we've kept him to under 50 a few times in the last few outings. It's that other side that's going to open up, the Alamotti side.
Either way, I definitely wouldn't be captaining Sibbo.
Nah.
That's just cray.
Yeah. I think so too. Don't
Yeah,
get me
there's-
wrong, massive big balls pod play, and it could work, you know what I mean? Could easily bag 4 tries, but could also get none. And then he's looking at 20.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of better captain options out there. I mean, if you're going to get one out of that Parasite, I'll probably go either Dillbags or Moses.
Yeah.
Out of everyone there, really.
Maybe even Matto as a potty.
Yeah.
Matty Drew.
Matty.
K-Boys got 550 in front row forwards. Do I grab TPJ or wear the shit score in front row this week to get Haas next?
Oos. TVJ, you don't even know what you're going to get out. We don't even know what role he's going to have. So, for me, I'd probably cop the hit and get Payne Haas and just sit him there for the rest of the year. You know? That's what I'd be looking at there.
What's TPJ named at? Does anyone
Front
know?
row, I
Prop.
think.
Front row? Prop.
Yeah. I don't get me wrong, I think he'll do a good job at front row. I don't know if I'd jump on week 1, but, you know, mad ballsy play, especially if he comes out and he rip tear bus, but we all know TPJ's got a low floor.
It's got mad offload.
He's been named a 10.
Yeah,
Yep.
prop.
Yep.
You're a good coach, Matty. I'd go if you gut, bro. If you're feeling it, I'd go, bro.
I was on him all pre-season until the injury. I'd love to jump straight back on. I got a lot of faith in him, man. But yeah, he's not as bulky as he was. Remember when he was at Penrith?
Yeah.
And he was like huge in the shoulders. Nah, bro, he trimmed down heaps over the summer for the boxing.
Con, you jump straight on,
Nope.
balls up? Nah.
Definitely not.
What
Not with
happened?
all his injury history, suspension history.
Well, he's had calf
Idiot
issues for
history.
years.
Nah.
Yeah. But in saying that, Matty, if that's the position you're in and you want to balls up and do it, bro. But for me, Haas is the get, you know.
Yeah. Danny Nickel. Looking at Gilbert, Matto, Marshall, King. Luke in. Out Steffo, Egan, and Hoopgood. And miss Nico for another week.
Nope.
You can't miss Nico.
Get on Nico.
Yeah. If you're willing to overlook Nico this week, means you got over $1 million next week. 'Cause
Get
if he
on
gets
Nico.
if he turns up, mate, he's $1 million nearly the week after.
He turns up, he will be $1 million.
He's got a zero break even. So yeah, such a risky
Get
thing.
Nico. Just don't think about it. Get Nico.
But then he doesn't get the strength in them other positions either.
But you've got Nico.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like I couldn't imagine a world without Nico now. I'll be honest, the wet haired prince.
Well, look, he has a break even of 0, as you said. He, with a projected score of 102, they're projecting he'll earn 87k if he scores 102.
Yeah.
We're shooting him up to what, just under $1 million.
Well, he's playing the
Yeah.
Roosters, which is the one thing that's like it should be a tough sort of matchup for him. But he's shown he score 100 easy, bro. He does it easy. Like that first week he come back, that 180 was effortless. If you actually watch the game, he was so everywhere, you know. And I don't see him not being everywhere for the rest of the year either. So he's going to do it again and again and again and again. Can you see these other guys, even if they all have their massivest week, can they outscore a Nico on his best week? Because if Nico's best week's next week at 220 or 250 or whatever, all three of them other guys couldn't catch that in the 1 week, you know? So Nico for me is a get.
Yeah, definitely Nico. Definitely. Connor John. Robson to Luke. Welsh to Tarpany.
Oh, Sonny Luke, I don't know about Sonny Luke, eh? Like, I know his minutes are getting better and stuff, and he's in the Penrith side, which is another tick for him, but he worries me a bit, Sonny Luke. And what was the other one?
Welsh to Tarpany.
I don't mind that.
I wouldn't be in a big rush either to go out and get Tarpany, but
Well, you're an owner,
hey,
so you
hasn't set the world on fire for
Well-
me so far.
Welch's been doing 50s, bro. Like
Tarpany's
50s,
been in the low 60s.
50's a good week from Welch. So,
65's a good week from Tarpany.
but that's still 15 more points than a Welch, you know. And if
But
you
there
got,
are other options you can explore. That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, you must have Huss,
yeah,
or he'd be your prime target. But what about like Tom Gilbert or Tohu Harris or?
I don't trust Toe. He's been named 2 weeks in a row, hasn't played, so there's a good chance he's named this week, doesn't play again. No, Gilbert's the only other one I'd sort of give a shout to.
Oh, nothing off the top of my head.
No. But yeah, I don't mind Sonny Luke. I just don't know if he's for my side. You know, I've already got a few gambles in my side. So if your side's pretty solid, I see the take the risk in the money with Sonny.
Yep.
That's fine.
Nicholas Heffernan again. This week he's going Egan to Luke to free up cash. Then he's going Mam to Dillbags and Alamotti to Sivo. As we mentioned before, he's thinking about captaining Sivo.
Yeah. Yeah, Ezra Mam to Jill Bags, I don't mind. Even saying I don't mind Ezra Mam, but like I know he's not doing Jill Bags stuff, but Jill Bags he's only had 2 good scores all year. If you really have a look, he's no Munster. But yeah, I like the Egan. You got to get rid of Egan. Feel with that second head knock now, he's now a liability to your side. You could be having these every 2 or 3 weeks. So, get rid of Egan.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of Egan as soon as ASAP.
And then, yeah, the Sivo thing I don't mind. He should be semi-pod, you know. I don't know about captaining, but I think that's massive balls. Like, big balls to do that.
It could pay off, but at the same time, yeah.
Not when you got, like, the likes of Naves and Nikos floating around, you know.
Yeah. Andrew Williams, Turbo to Trell or nah?
John?
Had the round of hell, so I'm looking to recover.
I don't mind it, but I don't think it's a great trade.
Is it a luxury trade?
Yeah, definitely.
It's very much a luxury trade. Look, I like Trell. If it was someone else, unless you're like running a Reece Walsh or something, I definitely wouldn't trade. But if you had someone else, you could even like Chance Nickel Clockstad or something, you could move up and bring in Trell that way. But other than that, I wouldn't move on Tommy for him. No.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
One from Grant Bradley.
Yep, go bro.
Any love for Jacob Host from Souths, boys? Week 1 bye coverage to Toller out for a bit and Arrow now in the middle. Rotation seems to have nailed South's left edge. Can at least see 60 plus minutes even with 4 forwards on the bench. Think he maintains that? How long's Toller out for, Louis, you know? Like,
Well, from what I've seen, it looks saying another 4 to 8 weeks.
And Jacob Host is supposed to be their future back rower. They've got a lot of time invested in him already. He just had a bad run with injury over the last couple of years. But they were trying to blood him. And he is supposed to be the future. I've heard Jai Arrow even talking about that on Bloke in a Bar.
well, I see Arrow, I think's always been seen more of a middle than an edge. I think he was just filling the hole in the edge, wasn't he?
Just doing what he had to do.
Yeah, I don't mind. Look, I don't mind. He's only cheap, and you get 380k or something. 200.
I think he is a bit of a sneaky, and he's definitely one to keep an eye on. Because if he does lock down that spot.
Look, there's a little bit of love from me for him. I don't think I've got spot for him in my second row, but that's my problem.
He's 337 with a break even of -14.
Yeah, you could even maybe wait another week if you were downgrading, but it'd be a waste of money.
Has he played 1 game or 2?
3.
3.
Yeah, he played 22 minutes. He's 28 minutes against Manly, scored 22. 40 minutes against Melbourne and scored 33. And then 74 against Bulldogs and scored 86.
Probably got to try in that. Yeah.
I assume so.
Yeah, well, it was a schlacken.
In saying that, if you're only playing him on matchups, I wouldn't play him as a starting 17 every week. But if you're looking for the money,
See, if he's going to make a couple $100K, why not?
and he probably get a bit more of an increased role through Origin with Cam Murray going out as well, maybe. I don't mind it, eh?
Well, if you didn't sell Hopgood last week to Hosking,
Yeah,
and
that's
you're looking for a downgrade, is he available in the second row? Yeah.
yeah, only I think.
Now, about that, Hosking's name this week,
Yep.
At what?
but it's named as last week, but Garner and Martin both in the extended squad this week.
Yeah, I'll still be waiting and seeing. I think he was a good get last week. I don't think he get this week. I think if you
Thanks, boys.
you should have got him.
I'm hoping Garner and Hosking, Garner and Martin make it back into the starting team.
Garner ain't coming back.
I'm relying on footy here. 'cause
Martin's going to play left. Hosking's going to stay on the right.
All right. Kevin Olsen, Cotter time. Neem injured, Chester and Granville on the bench. Cotter could be decent shout here. Playing in the middle, big minutes.
Started in the middle, playing big minutes.
Was he playing big minutes though?
I think he was playing the minutes he was expected to play. I can't see why a couple of injuries to cringe plays either way. Griffin Eam, yeah, he goes alright, but he still wasn't chewing up massive minutes.
Yeah.
Either was old, mate. So,
Does Drinky being back help Ruben Cotter as well, or it's just
I don't
Ruben
think so.
Cotter's not doing the things he was doing last
think-
year?
Ruben Cotter feeds off Taumalolo. Taumalolo feeds off Ruben Cotter. If they're both rolling forward with good momentum, I think they both thrive off the back of each other's play balls.
What do you got over there, Louis?
Yep. Kane Birch, thoughts on Gilbert?
I like
I
Gilbert.
like him.
I'm a massive, especially with the dual. You know, that gives you that dual flexibility with Gilbert. He's another one that sort of got away. Don't get me wrong, he hasn't been doing the things that Josh King I think was doing at Melbourne. Like hasn't been going that nuts, but he's still been chugging along nicely, and he's made money as well. So, he's worthy shout. He's definitely worthy shout as a second front rower until Tarpany or someone does come good, if they come good. Con, you like Gilbert?
Yeah, I don't mind Gilbert.
Yeah.
Got a good work rate.
So I'll pose a question here, right? For example, I've got Nat Butcher in my second row.
Yeah.
Would it be a bit of a luxury trade to go Nat Butcher to Gilbert? Gilbert's been averaging 66, Nat Butcher 59.4.
No. I think Tom Gilbert's role's established. Nat Butch coming back. Matt Lodge back this week. Gus is back training.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's playing for the Reggies this week, Norths. He's playing for Norths with Napa and Billy Smith and someone else, I think. So, yeah, I get what you're saying, but Tupanua's coming back soon. Angus Crichton's coming back soon. It could be a good time to move on Nat Butcher. But don't get me wrong, he'll probably still do a job for you over the next couple of weeks, but if you don't have pressing issues and you're really looking to strengthen your side, then I think that's not a bad trade, actually. Like, strengthening. Because then, if like with his dual, if something does go to shit in the front row, and you can easily pump him up there and bring in a second rower.
Yep. Chris Bye. Sele from Souths for 40 plus next 2 weeks.
Sele from South. Well, what's his role? You're the Souths man, so what's his role there to use? Is he going to get that, Louis?
That's probably the most he's going to get. To be honest.
Achievable, but like,
look, with Totola out, it's definitely achievable. I personally, I do like Hame Sele as a player. But yeah, I think 40 would probably be the most we'd get out of him. You got Davey Mawale coming off the bench as well, and he's not a bad player. So
when's Shaq due back?
Oh,
He's
look,
got a few weeks,
Shaq was. I think Shaq was 8 weeks when he did the injury, so you're still looking at 4 or 5 weeks.
So he could be a good shout, this LA, for a
Could be.
4-week play.
Just for the 4 weeks. I wouldn't hold him any longer, obviously.
The thing is, the money's not there. Like, to bring in one of these guys, you can't be expecting them to bring in 300k like you can with one of the backs. You know, like, whereas you can expect the back to go bang, 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 score a few tries, a few attacking stats, and then
Pereira.
yeah, Pereira, and then juice up, get out. Whereas with the front rowers and stuff, they're chugging along at 40s, and even if they start at 200k, they're not going to get to 400 quick enough for you to go, all right, I can do anything with it, you know?
Well, look, I'm looking at his stats now. He's played 3 games so far. He's currently at 308 with a break even of 5.
Yeah.
We won't count the Roosters because he played 1 minute and scored 2. Melbourne, he played 47 and scored 49. And Bulldogs last week scored 42 and played 29 minutes.
So he's a worker.
So he's definitely a worker. Again, personally, I like him the way he plays as a player. He gets in and he wants the ball in his hands. Every set, he's taking at least one hit up. Might earn you maybe 100k over the next 4 weeks. Break even of 5, but
Yeah, it seems to be not a worthy trade unless you can foresee a world where he does eventually start in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I don't know if I risk that sort of trade personally. That's just me.
yeah, I personally I wouldn't bother. It's a luxury trade, but I think most people will probably have other areas in their squad that need strengthening.
Yeah. All right, Danny Sackle. If a tree falls in the woods and there's no one there to hear it, are the Dragons still fucking mud?
Yep.
Fucking yeah. Sorry, Saxy man. He's
I'm
better than the Tigers, at least. You know. Zach Lomax. Ball's bouncing for him again. He scored a good try on the weekend.
Not suck too, Saxy. It's alright, mate.
Yeah. We're not looking too crash on either, brothers. You got one there, Louis, or should I keep going?
Sorry, I do have one yet. Kez J. Austin. Stuck with Stefano as a starter. Hopgood, Alamotti, Egan, 30k in my bank. Wondering how to best use my 3 trades this week. No Nico, as he's sticking with Nathan SJ for now.
Yeah, I don't mind that. But you should get a heap of cash from Hopgood, Alamotti, and who?
Hopgood, Alamotti, Egan.
And Egan. So you can easily pull in a Harry Grant or something if you haven't got a Harry up the top. But with Hopgood money, like we were talking about before, who's that dude from South we're talking about? Host?
Host, yeah.
You could downgrade Hopgood to Host and free up a heap of cash there, or even a Hopgood to a Ray Stone, but I don't think his job security is as good as a Host.
Oh, I'm sorry, I read that. That was a second comment to another comment. So this person is stuck with Stefano as a starter, stuck with Hopgood, Alamotti, and Egan in their squad.
Oos. Hopgood, I think you got to get rid of. Egan, you can sit. Egan, you can sit out because
He's sitting out.
because he's just got a head knock. Like, he's not going to lose you money like Hopgood can. Hopgood can come out and get a 20 and start regressing real quick now, being a benchy. But so I think Hopgood and Stefano are probably your 2 main people you want to upgrade.
I think if you can upgrade Hopgood to Madison, I think you're doing yourself good self.
Good shout.
Yeah.
What can you downgrade Hopgood to Host and then upgrade Stefano to premium, or waste?
The only premium's Husk at the moment, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
In the front
technically. Or Gilbert. I'd put a Gilbert. It's not premium, but he's chugging along alright.
60s.
66, I think.
Madison's high 70s at the moment. Only 3 games, but
Yeah.
80 was his last one.
Yeah, if you can get up to Maddo. But, yeah, he said he's got work to do, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He doesn't have Hines, does he?
No.
get Hines. I know he's riding SJ, but focus on getting Hines within the next 2 weeks. So you're going to need cash even still to go from SJ to Hines. So work out how to get that cash, in my opinion.
There's your answer. Chris Luch. Good pot as always, lads. How long do we keep AKP and Warbrick? Or are the season-long burners who we just have to hope they keep scoring tries and then cash them out in 10 rounds' time?
No, one this week, one next week, preferably, if not both next week, or one next week, one the week after. I think they both run their course. Unless they score a double this week, obviously, and then that just resets the timetable again.
I think for me, Cam Pereira is more of a hold. Even though I think Warbrick probably scores a try this week, I think Cam Pereira is more of a hold. I do, I honestly do, because he's got the 5 or 6 break even. Foreign's back could easily get him a try. You know, last week was our own fault. We should have just realised Foreign weren't there and it weren't going to be as good a football for it was for the Titans as it has been. But Foreign back's a mad opportunity for him. He gives him some space. So, and Warbrick, I think this week with Manly having no starting 13 winger, like they're missing Tulipalotu and they're missing Gary. So
He'll start back.
yeah, but
He can run fast.
Saab can run fast, but he's not a very good defender. Like he's a bit of a liability in defence, you know. So I don't mind holding on to either of them for one more week. Warbrick should get his 40 break even. Should. And
Why? Because you got him down for a try.
well, I just think
Without a try, we can see what you get a score.
yeah. And then Cam Pereira, even if he doesn't get a try and he gets his 15, still going to make 10 grand this week, you know. So
Then you're going to have a massive break even next week.
yeah, but gone next week. That's when you make your decision. Where if he bags 2 tries this
That's
week,
mate, I think both of
made
them
the
are
right
going over the
decision.
next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
In an ideal world.
Yeah, I'm with-
Unless they score a double this week, and then obviously, like I said, you reset the timetable again.
I'm with you on that. If you had that, get rid of Rawbrick this week and then AKP next. Braden Kane feels about Royce Hunt as a fill-in for Stefano. Anything about his job security?
Should be good. Dale's out. Rudolph's out. Someone else might even be out. But I think we said last week Cam McInnes would be our choice of the middlemen. I don't know how that reflected in the scores over the weekend. Aaron?
no idea. I have to be honest with you. I have no idea how he's done on the weekend. Hopefully it was good. But did we answer that question? That was the question.
Question was, feels about Royce Hunt filling in for Stefano.
Oh, jeez, it's such a wasteland the front row, man. If you can get to Gilbert, get to Gilbert. That's the best advice I can give you from front row. It's only 100 and something thousand, I think.
I don't mind Royce as a pod. But I can't see his minutes changing too much. And if he's going to go jumping out of the water with his price, he's going to need a few attacking stats. Try or two. And I don't think his strike rate's high.
I got one from Lance George. I have Dewey money. I have Dewey. Money is not a problem. Do I go Munster or Cody Walker? Already have Cleary and Hines at 7. I think
you have to go Munster, don't you?
you have to. I think he's proven, especially this week at fullback. I think he could do anything at fullback this week. He could score 100 easy this week. Not easy because he's still up against a reasonably. Oh, they play Manly, aren't they?
Yep.
Oh shit, they could. Yeah.
And Munster's got a break even of 69, so there's a high chance he's going to hit that.
Oh, he should hit his 69. I think at fullback he's a weapon.
Absolutely.
I reckon any time you got an opportunity for 69, you should hit it as hard as you can.
You should. But
Welcome to the conversation, Juzzy.
Down back.
you know what? That other dude too, that Pezzett, he's not shit. You know what I mean? He's not just there filling a hole and passing the ball. He seems to do his own sort of thing, and he'll throw a cut out to the winger and do his bit. So I think that'll be good for Munster as well, having a bloke with a bit of confidence in the halves. Whereas you noticed last year when they put Meany in that there, he just shuffled it along like he wasn't really doing plays and stuff. So I'll be going Munster for sure. I know Cody Walker's sort of on a run and stuff, and South's, like you said, has got a bit of a tough sort of run coming. So
yeah. Like as I said, a lot of people I can imagine are going to trade in Cody Walker, but give it 2 weeks and they'll be trading him straight back out.
go on, you got something to say there?
I'd
Walker or fucking Munster?
I'd carry Munster to the end. So I'm starting to think too, I'd carry Walker to the end.
Yeah.
I'm bringing in Walker this week, only because I'm $100 short of Munster, as I showed you. So
Literally
I wouldn't say it's by choice, but yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Deep, bro.
$100.
Tough.
Yeah, 1,000's alright. 100's putrid. You got another one?
Yep. Sean O'Veirett. What's your thoughts on Dewey to Munster and Egan to Luke? That way I've got the gun half combo, Cleary and Hines, and of course Munster.
I'm just I don't mind Sonny Luke. I'm just not sold on Sonny Luke, you know. He's worry Sonny. That's, yeah. Look, if you're feeling good about Sonny Luke, and there's a lot of people that aren't, they are feeling pretty good about Sonny. Teddy's one that likes Sonny. Do it, man. Just do it. Go off your gut. Do what you think's right. Like, really.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have got his gut feel, so
I mean, he could towel up Crossland against the Knights this week.
yeah, it worked really well after round 2 when he scored that try. Everyone jumped on,
Yeah.
then jumped off. Let's jump back on.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah. It is it is the cheap option.
Yeah, I'm all done, Avi.
All right, Connor John. When is it time to move in and cash in all your cash cows to get 17, 20 guns? Premium players made 25k placings in rankings the last 2 weeks, looking to continue his trend. So he's jumping up. Look, it comes down to when they start leveling out and when you think their run's ended too. Like, for me, like I'm still going to hold Warbrick and Pereira this week just because they could score tries this week and get even more money over the next 2 weeks. But if you in your world can see where they're just going to flatten out and go to shit and you can upgrade your players now, then I'd do it, man. Pull the trigger to get the guns as quick as you can. Like, as long as you don't leave yourself short and start nuffing too early. Like, I've heard people talking nuffs across social media and other podcasts. I can't see a world where I'm nuffing in round 7. That's just fucking madness to me. Unless I'm looking deeper into the future, which has come back to bite every single one of us in the arse before, because looking too deep in the future, you never know. But if I can foresee a couple of players that might come through during the origin period and give me 4, maybe 6 games to try and juice up, I might try to get to them, but you never know if they're going to come. You know, and you get stuck with these people in your side that do nothing and you can't get them out. It can cruel your season.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have to admit, I was looking at nothing Alamotti this week.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at downgrading him, but there's no one really that's standing out that's below his price range. There's no one really at that level that's just coming through that I'd trade to. So it's either do I hold him and just let him drop price a bit, or nuff someone now.
Well, do you get on that Manly winger that's coming in for Garrick, knowing that Turbo's going to play Origin and this is one of them things, he might get a run, you don't know. Tulipalotu and Cooler could be back by then. So you don't know what's going to happen, but he's one of them ones you could jump on his 200k, hopes that he gets a few more runs. But, yeah, I'd do it.
Well, who were they playing at fullback in the trials? Wasn't it that KO Weeks? Was it that they had?
He plays on,
fullback?
he's on the bench.
Cool
but-
played, I think, a bit of fullback.
Sorry? Cooler?
I think Cool played a bit of fullback in the trials.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
yeah, sorry, go on.
no, you go.
I was going to say, see, I think during Origin, they'd either play him at fullback, keep Garrick on the wing. But, yeah, I don't see him coming in, to be honest.
Yeah, so there's nothing for me now is not an option. I still got to try and find ways, or just you got to hold on that extra 1 or 2 weeks to these players.
I hope they cross.
Well, at least properly juice up to where they've got to get to. You might take a little hit here and there, but you still got to take maximum value, or at least get maximum value for your trade. So if you're trading up or out, you're getting the best points or money for the next week. James Mamatsusi, sorry dude. Hopgood or Couchman, free up some cash, or is Couchman a security risk? Doing present to Hines this week too, considering Alamotti to C and K. Hines is a definite.
I like Alamotti to C&K.
Yeah, I did. That's what I did. Alamotti to C and K myself. Chancy's on the up for me. What'd you say his base work was at, Con? Today?
48 was his lowest without the injury.
Yeah. So he's just chugging along really nice.
Yeah, well, the last 2 games, he had 39 and 36 just in hit-ups.
Yeah.
So, and then he had 8 tackle busts in one game, 4 tackle busts in the other, try assist in one, 2 try assists in the other, try assist in one, 2 try assists in the other. So yeah, if he scores a double and sets up 2, he's $150 plus.
Well, he's looking the goods over there, and the whole team's looking better. Let's be honest. Like the whole New Zealand team has turned a bit of a corner this year compared to years gone by. Anyway, so
Definitely.
Hot
And the
good-
Knights beat him.
I do
Cut the Knights.
I do think Hopgood's must go. I don't know if you go to Couchman or if you go to the host over there at Souths, Stone.
Or you go up.
I don't know if he can go up if he's going present to Hines.
Yeah, probably not.
That's a big chunk of cash.
Loody moody.
And then to still go Alamotti into C&K, he's another 100 and something thousand as well. So he's going to be needing that downgrade money from Hopgood, I think. We answer that? We did, eh? Bradley Baxter. I have Preston, Hoskins, and Ford. Which one do I trade to Maddo in the next few weeks? Thinking Preston on the left, maybe a keeper with Kiko out. Also, is Haas a possible sell before Origin, then bring him back after Origin? I don't think you sell Haas if you got him.
Waste of a trade.
Well, I think if you look at the rest of the front rowers, Utos and stuff are only 20 points behind and they're already on your bench. You might as well just play them through that period rather than burn up some trades. Haas will still do a job for Brisbane in and
That's
amongst
it.
that.
Unless a couple of front rows start pumping out consistent 80s, you're not going to really miss out on too much.
Yeah.
But the other one, you got to judge that in a couple of weeks.
What?
The
Yes.
second rowers on
Preston's Hoskins,
how
Ford.
their minutes are progressing and how their role is in the team.
Well, Maddo's going to go up. You're going to assume he's not going to drop in price.
Well, he won't jump up this week, but he's gonna start increasing after this week if those numbers keep.
Preston's probably is out of all them more of a keeper than Hoskins. Ford for me, he's the one that goes. He's only doing a job till he's plateaus out. I'll punt him for someone better. Hopefully,
They're all only doing a job till they plateau out. Preston's not got a keeper. Ford's not a keeper.
Well, Preston's young,
Like-
bro.
Yeah, but you take away Simbidden, 10 points, 10 minutes off the field. So 20 points. Still only 47.
In a day we got absolutely fucking pumped, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely pumped. Like, that's not bad for a kid who's in his first season. He will get better and better as weeks go on. He'll get combinations, and I think he'll be one of the ones you can sneakily have there all year.
You reckon Jermaine Hopgood?
I ain't putting that hate on no one. Sorry, mate. But yeah, no, I think Ford for me, he's the one that out of all them he's on the chopping block the fastest because he needs the attacking stat the most. Whereas I think Hoskins in a good team next to Nath, and Preston's will just get better because he's only 6 games into a career. Dan Nickel. Trade out Egan, Stefano and Hopgood. Bring in Maddo, Marshall, King and Gilbert, but miss Nico until next week. Have SJ and Cleary still in the halves. Better buy coverage. Just going to cost me about 90k more to get Nico.
I like it.
It's the 90k more. We're all assuming that he's not going to go gangbusters is the thing. If he comes out for another $180, can you get him the week after that?
Comes out for an 8-minute HIA and scores a 7.
Yes.
Can you get him cheaper?
You could get him cheaper, but you can either side of that coin. Can you get him the week after if he goes up 120?
But to bring in those 3 players,
Yeah,
I think you can justify trying to find a 90k
well, especially
the week after to do those trades this week.
if he didn't have SJ and Cleary, I'd be a bit more sceptical. But he's got the 2 other best halves in the comp, and SJ's holding his own against these.
Yeah.
So
that's it. And then solidifying your team with those other players, surely you've got a fattened up cow that you can sell to make that 90k to get Nico.
Oh, you'd find the way.
That's it.
But yeah, I'll see what you're saying. Having Maddo, who's chugging along at 80s, Marshall King, who's carrying the
next best thing to the Wiz.
Yeah, and then you got Gilbert, who's doing his job. We've mentioned 6 or 7 times tonight in questions alone, Gilbert. So a lot more other people are on Gilbert as well. So yeah,
but in saying that, is it worth getting one of those and Hines this week and then another 2 of those next week?
Yeah, but he might not be able to make that happen. This might be this is the way.
I'd say with the way their break-evens would sit, I don't know exactly what they are, but just assuming on what their scores have been lately and what their prices are, I'd say getting Hines in this week would be the best value for money route.
Yeah, but this might be his way to get the money to Hines as well. I don't know. Well, Egan, Steph and Hopgood, Maddo, Marshall, King, Gilbert, he's got money already. He's got to have some cash sitting there. So, look, for me, that week Nico came back, I had to get Nico just on seeing Nico, you know. I thought, fuck, I have to get him. But if you have a plan, like Dan has, I didn't cut him, no. Dan has a plan. I like his plan to Maddo, Marshall, King, Gilbert, bring Nico in for the sake of 90k next week.
Yeah.
I like that.
100%.
But yeah, like you said, but if you can swing it and get Nico and bring in a Gilbert or something next week, I'd go that way.
That's it. You can bring in 2 this week, one of them Nico, and then 2 next week.
Mohamed Chico. I have Egan out and thinking of holding to see what happens, buying a cheap hooker and selling Turbo for an Eisenhoof or Crocker, and then upgrading Prezet to Cleary. I don't think I can give Cleary a hold off anymore.
You'll get Cleary this week.
Yeah, I don't know about bringing in an Eisenhoof or a Crocker though.
Nah, not at all.
But there's no one else to say, hey, go get this guy either.
You got to get Nath this week.
Yeah, Nath's a must. But for him to do that, I think he has to sell. I'll get rid of Egan and probably bring in a Ray Stone. That'll free up some cash for you.
Any way to get Nath, get Nath.
Yeah, get rid of Egan for a Ray Stone or someone else cheap. I'd be swinging to Ray Stone, and then if you're selling Turbo, that's another one that worries me. Who are you bringing in for him? If it's not Reece Walsh, don't do it.
No, you're not making any money off that either.
Yeah, no,
I
you're
wouldn't
not.
be selling Turbo.
No, I wouldn't either.
Personally.
Oh, man, I don't know. You got to get Cleary in, but he's got to do it. So, read that.
Well, they must be swapping. A maybe an Osaka or something like that down to fullback, or a chance to fullback to cover that.
Yeah.
If they're
Or a
bringing
hammer,
in,
yeah.
looking at bringing Croker.
Yeah, Kroger's, I don't know.
Or only other person that comes to mind is that Manly winger
No, it's
that you were
Matt,
speaking
Matt
about.
Croker,
Oh, Matt Croker, I don't
Okay.
mind.
the front rower. I'm assuming that's what you said, isn't
Eisenhower or Croker
it? Yeah,
for Turbo.
Matt Croker. Oh, the Turbo. Gerbo?
Turbo.
So it has to be Lachlan Croker then. No, Jared Croker.
But what Eisenhower is in the back row in centre wing.
Tom's dual.
Is he?
Like every year, he's the dual centre wing, second row.
Well, you wouldn't be thinking about bringing Tom Eisenhower in, would you?
Nah. But to get to Cleary, I'm guessing that's his way to get to Cleary. He's got to bring in someone
Surely there's a better way.
cheap.
I'd go
Dunno.
Croker over Eisenhower.
Get Con on the WhatsApp, Mohammed. Find him, stalk him, send him pictures of your team and tell him to fix it. Yeah, that's all I got. You want to do the round recap?
Sure.
All right. Just while he's getting the round recap up, high break evens, Con. These are the ones quickly. Teddy 130. Would you bring him in this week?
Nope.
Wait for that. Drinky 135.
Nope.
Garrick 130.
Nope.
I would hold anyway if I had Garrick. I know
Selling.
you're selling, but
The
Lane's
price isn't right.
Lane's a 121. I think if you're looking at Lane, even as a pod, I think you wait for his money to come down.
Yeah, I'm not bringing him in this week.
Tohu, he's 103.
Wait,
And Egan 99. I think
so
you sell Egan.
two head knocks in a month. Got to go.
That's where I'm at too.
Yep.
You're up.
So, round recap. Let's talk about fullbacks and hat tricks. Everyone wants that sweet fullback money, and this week showed why they earn the big bucks. Latrell Mitchell bagged a hat trick, ding, as well as Campbell Graham, ding ding, showing why they are the top echelon of custodians to destroy the Bulldogs, who have yet to win on Good Friday since 2017. When the Fox went down, that was it for the Berries, as the Rabbitohs attacked his vacant wing and put 50 on them. That must have been tough for you, Bergs.
That was a hard watch, bro. I'll be honest. Like you would have been jumping around, yahooing. But
Yeah, about halfway through the game, I went, okay, yeah, we got this.
we were in. It was a good little fight for the first 15, 20 minutes. I think we scored first, and team morale was up.
I think it was your first. I think it was your first play of the game. I think we had possession for the opening, like 6 or 7 minutes straight, and then first play, and you guys run down the wing and score.
Yeah, it was an off the cuff play too from like the scrum maybe. Or,
Yeah,
but he just cut out. You just had
we had Cody Walker on the wing. I don't know
Yeah,
why,
I don't
but
know why.
Cody Walker was camped on the wing. I think Tane Milne was inside him, and I think the ball went out to Karaz, who drew him in, and then passed it out to Averillo, and he was off.
Yeah, it was good to watch, and then it all went downhill from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, once the Fox went off, it was painful, mate. I couldn't understand. They brought Topany on to play centre. Didn't see him play centre all game. I don't know where he was. But for me, I would have probably put Averillo over on the wing outside of Alamotti just for a bit of speed, just to try to keep a bit of speed out there and put Topany over there inside Karaz. Just as a defender, but yeah, it didn't work out that way, and we got exposed hard.
Yeah.
Like hard. Braden Burns this week should do alright, but
Yeah, South they there was patches there where I was a bit concerned. There was patches there where they didn't really. It was pretty even really, and then it was just those 10-minute patches where we just pumped tries on. End of the first half, pumped tries on, and I think was it 2 or 3 tries in the last 10 minutes.
yeah.
Same with that second half. There was I think a 15-minute period where we pumped all our tries in.
Yeah, I think there was like 6 tries in like 15, 7 tries or something. It was crazy. But yeah, anyway, what do you do? Like it's one of them things. South pumps all the time.
Yeah.
At that game, but yeah, for the first 8 and 15 we were okay, but we've got a long way to go if we we lose one of our starting backs, we seem to be in a bit of trouble. So it's one of them things we got to work on as a club.
Moving on. In the Dolphins-Cowboys clash of Queensland, the Hammer had a day to remember as he carved up his former team. Bagging a double, setting up 2 with 11 tackle busts, all helped affirm his chance at possibly Maroon's number 1 jersey. Asako scored 3 impressive tries, and the Finns are back in the winner's circle. Con, I know as soon as I mentioned Maroon's having Hammer at number 1, you picked up your mic. Do you want to make a little comment there?
Reese?
But Hammer playing number 1 for Queensland.
That's what he wrote here. Mm-hmm.
KP's going to be back in a week or 2. He's number 1 walk-up start. I think I'll still maintain Cameron Munster's number 2 walk-up start. We didn't play number 6. Reece Walsh, number 3. And then probably Val Holmes, number 4. And then maybe, after Hammer's filled in at Val centre spot, he might get a crack. There's definitely no way he's number 1 front runner
You know
for
what?
Queensland number 1 jersey.
You know what? Hammer on the weekend looked really good. He didn't look shit. He didn't look out of place. A couple of times at the
So you
Cowboys.
pick him for Queensland over KP fit.
Nah.
You
I
pick
don't.
him for Queensland over Reece Walsh fit.
No, I don't.
You pick him for Queensland over Cameron Munster fit.
No, I don't.
You
But he's
pick him
played.
over Queensland over Val Holmes. That's what I'm
He's
saying,
played
mate. He's
for
not playing
Queensland.
for Queensland.
He's played for Queensland before.
At centre.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's been
And
there
he's
before.
done a fantastic job.
And he did.
I doubted him. Went into that game with low expectations, coming out thinking, Jesus Christ.
And I don't think he'd look out of place in a maroon jersey.
But not the number 1 jersey.
No, I don't know if he'd get the 1. Not for me, but could easily get a wing. Coldfelt's wing or whatever.
Even if you have him coming off the
Cobbo
bench, it's a bit of
Coates.
an impact.
Yeah.
Oates.
Yeah.
Nah. Ben Hunt's. Harry Grant.
I think Harry's ready for 80, mate.
What? Ben Hunt plays 14 then?
Yeah, Ben can play 14.
That's what I mean. So we can't carry another fullback or
Why not? Davey plays 80.
Davey who?
Dave Fafita.
Does he?
Can't.
He didn't play the team last year, did he?
He'll play this year. He wasn't healthy, I don't think, last year. I think you'll have Carrigan who give you big minutes. I think you have Cotter who give you big minutes. I think you have old mate who gives 80 minutes from Cowboys, the try scoring dude. Nanai give big minutes.
Well, I
You
think
can afford to
Felice.
carry these
I
guys.
think Felice
bro.
will play
60 minutes.
1 edge, 80.
There you go. See, you got 80-minute men everywhere, bro. Like, you can afford to carry these guys.
No, you can't. You got to have middle rotations, man. You can't go in with just 2 middle rotations in the fucking origin.
You can.
You can,
We could.
use
with
wood.
Payne Haas and
especially
shit.
with Captain Kurt on the bench.
Yeah.
Do. But yeah, no, we know how to play origin, bro. We get it.
Yeah, fuck off. There you go. Fuck.
Moving on from Queensland. Storm v Roosters. Xavier Coates scores a treble as the Storm manhandled a Roosters Teddy outfit. Munster showed why he is still the game's premier player as he and stand-in fullback Meany boasted up 2 tries. Will Pappy be back? Who knows? But he probably shouldn't play. But Meany is doing the job in the spine. A tribute to belly plug and play system. Yeah. Any comments?
Sorry, I was trying to get a sneaky photo of Juzzy. My phone's not doing it.
I was trying to get his snoring. Sorry, can you repeat that, Louis?
No. Look, the plug and play things worked for Bellamy for a long time. Like he is the master of getting the best out of cusp or fringy, you know, and he turns them into just shit hot players. Like not shit hot anywhere else, just shit hot in the Melbourne system. You know, it's a system that's worked for him for ages, and you got to give him credit. His plug and play works, man. I think this young Pezzett will be a good plug and player. I think he'll do a mad job, just like Nico done a job for him in years gone by. Pappy did a job before him, and I just think, yeah, good luck to him. I like their plug and play shit.
Always have faith in Craig.
Is Dylan Edwards the number 3 fullback in the NRL? With 4 tries, running 187 metres, busting 11 tackles, there is no argument for me that as the Panthers rocket to second place, outplaying the Sea Eagles. Number 3 fullback in the NRL, guys?
It depends what you're looking for in a fullback.
Great team fullback.
For me, Teddy's number 1, but he's a Dylan Edwards on steroids. But then you've got your Turbos, Trells, players like that who can just individually just win you a game by themselves against anyone, any day, when they turn it on. Dylan Edwards can't do that.
Oh, look, no, he can do it to an extent. He just doesn't have them. His running game's exceptional, man.
100%. He'll do 20, 25 carries a game. 200 metres.
Yeah, but even now, like more so than years gone by.
Right, if you had to pick one fullback in the competition to win you a game, would it be Dylan Edwards?
No.
Would it even come to mind? You'd be thinking Latrell, Turbo, Teddy,
not just
Pappenhausen,
alright, yeah, fair enough. If I'm
Kalen
thinking,
Ponga, Reece Walsh.
if I'm in a team that's not sound, like he's in a team where
That's it.
they all work well together,
That's
and
right.
he wouldn't need to do that because that would be Nath doing that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's it. It depends what you're looking for in a fullback,
oh, he's a great team.
and it depends what team you've got around that fullback as to how you can apply that fullback strengths accordingly.
Well,
and if you don't have the team around them to bring out their best attributes, well, then it doesn't matter how good a fullback they are.
well, he's a back-to-back premiership winner.
Well, like I said, he's a Teddy. I don't think he's as good as Teddy.
Well,
But even Teddy, Guppo, Chance, to a lesser extent, they all play a very similar game. Very heavy work rate, lots of runs, lots of meters, bringing it out of their own end. Not so much the flashy plays. Yes, they occasionally break through the middle of some lazy defenders, bust off a few defenders and stuff. Teddy more so than the others. But yeah, they're different than to your Turbo, who can just run through 13 players, score a try from his own end out of just absolutely nothing. Latrell, who can just palm off 17 people and run over the touch at the same time and score a try. Then you got your Kalen Ponga, who's got their flash, and your Reece Walsh, who's got their speeds. So it just depends on what you want
and need.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I highly rate Dylan. I've rated Dylan Edwards ever since 6 months after he come back from when he couldn't catch a cold, when he got dropped that year, when he just couldn't. The football just wouldn't stay in his hands for some reason. I don't know what the fuck was going on. And he come back from that, and ever since then he's just been climbing up and up and up and up.
Yeah. Also, other number ones impressing this week include Jaden Campbell, who was providing a really good spark with the Titans' win over the Dragons. And the Warriors, Chance Nickel-Klokstad, setting up 2 tries and running 229 metres in their loss to the Knights. Charlie Staines making the position his own, and he and fellow Penrith alumni Appy Coruscant led the Tigers back to within 6 with just over 2 minutes to go in what was a forgettable first half. Did you guys want to comment on that game?
Yeah, I just want to know,
go for it.
when they were 6 points down and they forced a dropout, how Charlie Staines reacted to that situation.
Poor Charlie.
He bet hunted it.
Poor Charlie. He felt bad, watching it, man. They were dragging that game back in, man. They were on top, way on top of Para at that point, and he didn't drop that ball. I don't know if they actually go on to score a try.
Who knows?
But yeah, definitely the momentum.
Somebody could have dropped the ball and they'll play.
They had momentum. They definitely had momentum.
And then for
Definitely.
Sibbo to just go down and score a try,
It was the end.
But
Kudos to the Tigers. They didn't come out. They didn't get 40 put on them, which they probably could have, judging by weeks gone by. I really think Maddo and Mitch Moses saved Para, to be honest. Both had blinders. You know, and it's
Mitch kicking game.
former club. You know, yeah.
Fuck, he can kick a ball,
Yeah,
man.
bro, he's a gun, eh? Like,
Well, he doesn't have that big spiral bomb that Burton does, but he can kick a ball from 50, 60 metres out, 40 metres high, and bring it down 10 metres out. It's
he's got it on a string.
Yeah,
He's
it's
pretty good. He's like
crazy, man.
A-Ray's the same. A-Ray's good with.
But he doesn't have the distance and the height that Mitch does. Mitch can, he can kick a ball.
Yeah,
Sorry, was this Mitch Moses you're talking about?
yeah,
Yep.
he can kick a ball.
Well, speaking of Moses, the last bit of this round recap. Mitchell Moses had the ball on a string with 4 try assists, 5 if you include an errant pass picked up by the Tigers for a runaway try, to prevent the repeat of last year's Easter Monday miracle.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why they got beat by the Tigers, didn't they? That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And that is it for the round recap.
Yeah, sweet. You got anything else on the live there before we chime out?
I do.
Captains and vice captains. While was Louis looking for that? Captains and vice.
Well,
captains.
just got one here.
Yeah.
Paul Burkhart says he's been nothing since round 1. So enjoy.
Yeah, Paul.
He's killing it too. Good on him.
He's up there. I know that he's up there. He scored a good 1400 and something on the weekend too. So well done, Paul. Captains and vice captains before we go. Podmasters and the Supercoach Hub also get a part of that if you're a Supercoach. And we have a ring. Contact Con on the WhatsApp. That's how you get to know how to get the ring. What do you got there? Captains and vice captains for the week. Mine is I'm VC Munster into Cleary at the moment, just because Munster playing fullback's juicy to me.
I'm going Cody Walker into Nath. But I am contemplating doubling down on Reece Walsh.
Really? Who
against
they play?
Titans.
Titans. Jazzy, you got a captain?
Yeah, Munster into Cleary at this stage.
Yeah. Louis?
I'm sitting on Reece Walsh against the Titans. However, Dillbags against the Bulldogs. I don't know. I just got a feeling that he might actually tear them up.
Really?
Yeah, just a sense that I'm getting. So
South,
maybe.
South tingling. The South sense. Alright, well that's it for the week then, eh? Peace. Good luck you coaching.